Well, hello there and welcome back. This is still the AM show. We're diving straight into the newspapers, and my friend Elton is joining us this morning. Good morning, Elton.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm all right, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. And this morning I heard something in the news.
Okay.
And it's about the statistics for the road fatalities. I'm told that we've recorded over 2,000 deaths from January up to now.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to draw a comparison between how many people have died from COVID since we reported it in March 2019 up to now. We have 1,222. So which one is really our pandemic?
Killing us. Yeah, which one is our pandemic? That's such a good question. Yeah. Feels like a headline.
Of course.
Which one is our pandemic? But it's also on the front page of the Finder. Yeah. So
we'll start with the Finder. The Finder says 644 drivers arrested for driving with expired documents. I don't know why somebody would want to do this under this Dampare, regime. But the main story is that 4,913 fire outbreaks killed 21, injured 61. Volta region was efficient rice producing region in Ghana. And then top 10 accident-prone sports in Accra named, and I'm sure when we get into the details, we'll have that.
No, I'm very interested in that. Top 10 accident-prone.
Yeah, that is on page 5 of the Finder. The last but one page, that's the sports page. Ghanaians football fans to be vaccinated at Lake Centers, that according to the GFA Secretary General. Lai Kingston blames House of Folk poor performance on fatigue. I don't know how that happened. And then VIP adopt 2 award categories in the 46 MTN Swag Award.
Interesting. Okay, so do you want to tell us about that story?
Exactly. So if we should go to page 5 of the Finder, top 10 accident-prone sports in Accra named, and it says the Bloomberg Philanthropies initiative of the Global Road Safety has reviewed that the top 10 fatal crash locations in Ghana between 2018 and 2020. The BIGR data was synthesized from documents collected from the Motor Transport and Traffic Directorate of the Ghana Police Service, which shows the number of deaths recorded in the named areas. Speaking at the 2-day workshop structured to help journalists report accurately and frequently on road safety issues, a surveillance coordinator, Ebenezer Bedu, said the death statistics in the locations were based on the georeference crash data from 2018 to 2020. Now, the areas are Apenkwa, the interchange around the Dimples roundabout, Bekan Junction, Apenkwa Total Filling Station, La Paz intersection, Kwashiman intersection, North Jowulu intersection, New Plan intersection, Achimota, Kaukudi, Hansonic, Vodafone intersection. 76 lives were lost in the period under review.
So it's really the intersections?
Mostly on the N1.
Yeah, and mostly on the N1, yes. Apenkwa, Kwashiman, La Paz,
N1. So it tells you the level of speed on that particular road. Yeah. And then, unfortunately, we don't have speed ramps on that road.
Yeah, no, we don't.
People have been complaining about the footbridges not situated where it's supposed to be. So they take the risks in, crossing this long stretch, and that's the reason why we are recording so much.
And then you see some of these motorbikes also, crossing, and then people are trying to beat the red light.
You get it.
So you see the yellow from a distance, and instead of slowing down.
They won't slow down. Yeah. So also, the Finder is also reporting that between January and now, we've had 4,913 fire outbreaks, and that resulted in the death of 21 and injured 61. And it gives you a breakdown of the region domestic fire tops, followed by regional breakdown. The Greater Accra region is leading with 914 fires, 301 domestic, 212 electrical fires. Ashanti region 904, 5 killed, 374 domestic, commercial 165. If you go to the Central region, 350 fires, 1 killed, Tema 446, Eastern region 350, and the Northern region 209. So if you get the Finder, it will give you the regional picture as far as the fire outbreaks and how many people died, one resulting from domestic fire, electrical falls, and others.
Okay. Any other stories that you...
And then if you go, and then the sports page of the Finder, very interesting. The GFA has been directed that they should admit only 25 persons into the various stadia for
25%.
Yeah, yes, just 25%
of capacity.
Now, the catch here is that you need to have your COVID passport before you can be allowed into the stadium. Now, to ensure that people enjoy football, the Ghana Football Association Secretary General Prosper Harrison has reviewed plans from the GFA to roll out vaccines to football fans at lake centers to help fight the spread of the coronavirus pandemic. And according to him, that is starting as part of the government declaration of December
as vaccination month.
So
when you go and watch a football match, if you're not vaccinated, you're vaccinated at the gate, and then you go in. The question is, does the vaccination give you instant immunity?
It doesn't. I mean, the kind of vaccination we have, or the kind of the vaccines we have, usually you have to take 2 doses before you can be deemed to have, fortify yourself against
I'm sure
COVID-19. So let's see. So that's the finder.
Okay, let me get into the daily graphic. Front page, massive afforestation program underway. That's according to the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Mr. Samuel Abujinapo. ECOWAS reopens land borders January 1st. We can feed the nation if resourced. And Parliament accepts revised 2022 budget. Okay, so let me get into some other stories. WHO rules 2020 rise in malaria deaths. So healthcare disruption linked to the COVID-19 pandemic helped malaria to kill 69,000 more people in 2020 against the previous year, but a worst-case scenario was averted, the World Health Organization said. So 627,000 people globally, mostly babies in the poorest parts of Africa, were killed by malaria. We've been so focused on COVID-19 that we've taken our minds off malaria, which is actually one of the major killers. Biden, Putin to discuss Ukraine tensions. Early reports about Omicron encouraging. Okay, so President Joe Biden's chief medical advisor, Dr. Anthony Fauci, told CNN State of the Union that scientists need more information before drawing conclusions about Omicron. But he said that so far it doesn't look like there's a great degree of severity to it, but we have to be careful. Okay, well, that sounds hopeful. That it's not too bad. UNICEF unveils mural to commemorate International Children's Day. Some of these stories have been in the papers for a while. Finance Minister's budget concessions responsive and decisive. That's according to Dr. Alidu, who is a political scientist. Okay, so the details of that story also on page 20 about the budget. But of course, we'll be talking about it later on today. We'll be joined by some members of parliament and we'll have a discussion about it. We know that they've accepted the modifications, but talks are still ongoing when it comes to E-levy.
It is very interesting relating to that matter because the same minority has filed a motion demanding that parliament take a decision on the decision taken by the first deputy speaker
disapprove the rejection of the
so this motion is pending. Hopefully will be moved by the minority leader today. So what happens to them accepting the modification that was announced by the finance minister when you have a motion saying that the decision we took in the latter part of November rejecting that the budget should stand?
It's very interesting. Yesterday I was speaking to the Deputy Minister of Finance, Dr. Kuma, and Hassan Suhini, and he also made that same point about the fact that, they voted against it, it was rejected, and then they feel very like, you just came and then you approved it all by yourselves and, all of that. But if we go back to the budget being rejected, then I guess we're starting from square one.
Yeah, you're starting from square one.
But maybe this time the square one will include the 7 modifications.
Well, let's see.
So we'll see how it goes. I'll be having that conversation later on. It's kept us quite busy, this budget issue. I don't remember the last time a budget thing kind of spread out for a long time this. No, I mean, majority have had the majority. So
the reason is the kind of numbers we have in parliament.
Exactly. So some sports. Olympics hearts settle Awako case amicably. Wonders player, team manager remanded for 2 weeks. Workers of food delivery, ride-hailing platforms among the lowest paid. That's interesting.
Very interesting.
So there's a study that reveals the majority of platforms were yet to meet the basic standards of fairness. But deliveries are expensive. When you order something and the dispatch
sometimes more expensive
than the thing
itself.
you've ordered.
Yeah.
Anyway, back page of the Daily Graphic. Koika, a Korean International Corporation Agency, supports KVTI, and Presby Church provides clinic for Mampong. That's it for the Daily Graphic.
So I'll move to the Ghanaian Times, most authoritative newspaper according to them. Front page story: we remain opposed to E-levy, minority states position on the 2022 budget modification. High Commissioner meets whole MC over burial of slain Zambian woman. You remember that story about the man who killed the girlfriend, and then we are still looking for him. One teacher, one laptop, Buhaha. 3 teacher unions demand laptop for members by December 31, insist on paying 30%, of course. And Ghana implementing strategic programs to combat climate change, as according to the minister. The page 3 of the paper has this story about Shatawale and medical. The good news is that the good news is that they will have the freedom to spend Christmas. They will not have any issue hanging around their necks. Okay. But then they will be back in court on January 25th. That's according to the paper. The Accra Circuit Court yesterday adjourned to January 25th, the case in which Samuel Edufrimpon, also known as Medical, is standing trial for allegedly brandishing a gun. The rapper pleaded not guilty to displaying arms and ammunition when he first appeared in court on October 2021. The prosecutor, Chief Inspector Dennis Tepe, told the court that he had filed all processes and documents before the court. Counsel for the accused, Bobby Benson, did not oppose to the request for adjournment. And so on January 25th, they will be back in court to answer some charges. Police are also on a manhunt for Shatawale's sister. According to the story, the police are on a manhunt for the sister of dancehall artist Charles Niyama Mensah, also known as Shatawale. The musician and 3 others were first arraigned in November and charged with alleged publication of false information and abetment of crime. Niyama's sister was said to be the person who reported to the East Legon police her brother was shot by unknown gunmen. Appearing before Justice Emmanuel Esando, a High Court judge sitting with additional responsibility as a Circuit Court judge, the prosecutor, Chief Inspector Dennis Tepe, told the court that one more person is being pursued. He appealed to the judge to urge on counsel for the accused person to produce the said suspect to help the police. Following the appeal made by the prosecutor, Mr. Jerry Avenobo, counsel for the accused requested for in-camera hearing, which was agreed. The bottom line is that Shatawale's sister is being pursued by the police because, according to the story, she's the one who reported to the East Legon police that his brother had been shot. Okay. Yes. Okay. And then if you go to the page 4, that's the lead story in the Ghanaian Times. The minority in parliament has reiterated its opposition to the imposition of E-levy on Ghanaians as communicated in the budget statement and economic policy of government for the year ending December 31, 2022. According to the caucus, the levy is punitive and, if approved, will defeat the agenda to digitize the economy. There's a quote here: we believe that the E-levy is punitive and will undermine our quest to grow a digital economy in seeking to tax transaction. We are guided by the public good, and we think that monies recoverable from the Auditor General report can well compensate for the imposition of the E-levy. And here the issue is that, remember, the audited accounts of corporations, boards, and everything, the misappropriation, according to Auditor General, amounted to 12 billion Ghana cedis. Now, the E-levy is hoping to bring in 6 billion Ghana cedis at the end of the 2022 fiscal year. The minority's argument is that if we should block the loopholes in the country, we'll be able to generate so much money. We would not need to tax people who are doing electronic transactions. So the minority says that they are opposed to it, even though they appears to be flip-flopping on this matter. At one point, they are saying that they will accept 1%. Now they are united behind the decision not to go with government on the E-levy. My information is that the finance minister will again hold talks with them today, with the hope that they will be able to come to a decision on which figure will be acceptable, and then government will go ahead and announce, and then amend some portions of the budget to reflect the figures. Let's see how
we'll see how it goes.
And then the last but one page, which is sports. My target is to win gold for Ghana. Has complete payment of Awako's transfer. So it looks like Accra Olympics will have to withdraw the case from court and allow boardroom resolution of the matter. Mohamed Salah has a pending contract talks with Liverpool. It's unclear. I'm told that he's demanding £550,000 a week.
Wow.
Yeah, that is how much.
Okay.
Currently, he's on £250,000 a week.
Okay.
And he is of the view that he is at the same level as Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo and the rest. So Liverpool should go to the bank and then pay him £550,000 sterling a week. 7 days. Yes. That's what we're going to
Oh my God. Okay. Let me get into the daily guide really quickly. For sample for plant harm on others, MPs adopt 2022 budget alterations, stalemate on E-levy. Police chase one more in Shatawale case. Okay. So let me do some international stories and some entertainment. So Facebook sued for $150 billion over Rohingya hate speech. So dozens of Rohingya refugees in the UK and US have sued Facebook, accusing the social media giants of allowing hate speech against them to spread. They're demanding more than $150 billion in compensation, claiming Facebook's platforms promoted violence against the persecuted minority. US boss fires 900 employees over Zoom. Wow. So the boss of a U.S. firm has been criticized after he fired 900 of his staff on a single Zoom call.
It's a real estate company.
So he said, if you're on this call, you're part of the unlucky group being laid off. That's Vishal Garg, chief executive of mortgage firm Better.com. He said, wow. Comments on social media, it was cold, harsh, a horrible move, especially in the run-up to Christmas. Last time I did this, I cried. Mr. Garg told the staff on the call, I wish the news was different. I wish we were thriving. He said this time his tone was measured and refers to notes on the desk in front of him. Wow. Wow.
Well, if you go to if you read the entire story, I mean, he tries to explain his actions, and he says that the company is not doing well, one.
Yeah.
He also is accusing the workers of stealing from the company. And then, according to him, some will report to work, will work for 2 hours, and then will indicate that they work for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so for that reason, he decided that he will have to let them go.
Yeah, I mean, but apart from the fact that the company wasn't doing well, there was a $750 million cash infusion from SoftBank, a Japanese firm and key investor, last week. So, anyways, U.S. billionaire hands over antiquities worth $70 million. 3/4 of prisoners in Nigeria await trial, and catastrophic Burundi prison fire kills dozens. Okay, I'm almost done. I just want to do some entertainment stories, and then I will let you take it away. So police chase one more in Shatawale case. We can survive without the help of the media. That's R2Bs. Ghanaian music duo R2Bs claim they don't need the media to survive as musicians. So this is what is interesting, right? So he was speaking in an interview on Hits FM, Andy Dosty, and they were asked, you know, why is it that you are not media friendly? Yeah. And they said, well, because every time we speak, the media misconstrue what we say. Then we come out with a headline, we can survive without the help of the media. So it's like, you know, case in point, because I'm sure that, you know, they're expressing their displeasure. Anyway, Sandra Nkobia fumigates Malamata Market ahead of Christmas sales. Not really sure why that's the story, but anyways. Okay, gospel artist Era Gold out with Boaten and Inspector Bediako. Yeah, have you seen the signboards?
I saw the premiere.
Oh, you did?
On Akwaba.
Oh, you did?
Power. Yeah, I did.
Oh, wow. Okay. Was it good?
Well, I mean, because I'm used to it, so I watched it when growing up.
So is it
back in the day?
Is it the old one?
The
remade?
old one, yeah, remade with some of the old actors in the.
So it's a new filming. It's not a repeat of the.
It's not a repeat.
Oh.
New setup, everything new technology, everything. I mean, trying to adapt to current trend and all that.
Because Inspector Bediako was Charlie. It was life back in the day.
It was.
That's it for the Daily
All right,
Eye.
so let's deal with this teacher unions, one laptop, one teacher issue. And according to the dispatch, the president of the National Association of Teachers, NAGRAT, Philippa Larson, says no irregularities were undertaken in agreeing to government to supply laptops to teachers across the country. NAGRAT and the Concerned Teachers Association of Ghana told journalists in Accra, paying for the 30% component of the Ministry of Education package is well intended to support teachers in their drive to be more effective in the teaching and learning process. Accordingly, they asked government to supply the laptops to teachers for monies that have been deducted to teachers before the end of 2021. Ms. Larson said on 11 February 2021, a laptop computer pre-financing agreement was entered into between the Ghana Education Service, acting on behalf of the Ministry of Education, and the service providers. We wish to state that per the pre-finance agreement between GES and GISOP, the cost per teacher is 549 pesos as a result of the 18.6% interest rate on the 463 cedis. The price further reduced to 509 due to the intervention of the unions and the Ministry of Education, who indicated that the 18.6% cannot be charged on the entire 30% portion of the teachers. Now, the teachers' argument is that some of them says that they have laptops already, they don't apply to be given this laptop, yet they are going to deduction every month. That is their concern, that somebody has taken them for a ride and that they want a refund of their money. And it doesn't look like NAT wants to do that. The political page of the dispatch.
Okay, we just have about 30 seconds.
Yes, and I'll quickly run up. The Minister for Agric, Dr. Owusu Afiye, says that he is very popular in the MPP, and for that reason, he should be. It looks like formally he's announcing his intention. He should be given the opportunity to be.
He believes he's really popular.
Yes.
Is there a picture of him?
He says he went to the north. MPP 2024 Flabera race. Agoto meets delegates and says that he's the most popular in the party now. And for that, he should be given the nod. Okay. Now, if you've made it public, well, the rule is that you cannot be pursuing your political agenda and still serving somebody else's government. Is he going to be given the sack? Let's see what his friend, the president, will do to him.
Okay, well, I'm sure there's more drama that awaits as the months go by and we get closer to the flag bearership. But there's also immediate drama in Parliament. And if you've been following the story, then you know everything that's going on in Parliament. We'll have some members of Parliament joining us this morning. I'm hoping that, some sort of consensus will be reached. At the moment, the minority are actually saying that the budget has been rejected. So I don't know what that means. Does it mean that we're going to get a new budget? Whatever it is, it has to be done soon because Parliament is going to go on break for Christmas and they have to approve this before they go. Otherwise, in January we'll have lots of issues, payroll issues and all sorts. Anyways, we'll have that conversation when we come back from the sports. A very big thank you to Elton for joining us from across the road. We're going on a quick break. Muftal brings us the sports after this break. And of course, after that, we get into all the details on the conversations. Don't go anywhere.